ಹಾಯ್ ಹಲೋ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. 9 ಲೈವ್ ವಾಹಿನಿಯ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ವಿಶೇಷ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಾನು ಸಂಜನಾ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಮಂಗಳವೆಡೆ. ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಇನ್ನೇನು ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗಳ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಬರ್ತಿವೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಬಹುತೇಕ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಒಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಯ ಭಯ ಕಾಡುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ 9 ಲೈವ್ ವಾಹಿನಿ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಎಂಬ ವಿಶೇಷ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಸಾರ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದೆ. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮೂಲಕ ವಿಷಯ ತಜ್ಞರ ಮೂಲಕ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ನೀಡಲಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಹೇಗೆ ಸಿದ್ಧತೆಯಾಗಿರಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಯಾವುದು, ಪಠ್ಯ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಭಾಗಗಳ ಯಾವುವು ಅನ್ನೋದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಆಯಾ ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಸಿದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾದರೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಇನ್ನೇನು ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಸಿದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರನ್ನು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಅವರು ವಿಜಯಶ್ರೀ ಹೊಸ್ಮನಿ ಅಂತ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಟೀಚರ್. ಬನ್ನಿ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಮೇಡಮ್, ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಶೇಷ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ತಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಮೇಡಮ್, ವೀಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಿರು ಪರಿಚಯ ಕೊಡುವುದಾದರೆ?
Namaste. I am Vijayshri Hosmani. My education qualification is BSc MAt, and from past 10 years I am serving as a science teacher. I am presently working at Bhavadeepa Shikshana Samsthe, Srimati Vimla Kulkarni Memorial School, Hubli.
ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಇದಾಯಿತು ನಮ್ಮ ವಿಶೇಷ ಅತಿಥಿಯ ಕಿರು ಪರಿಚಯ. ಬನ್ನಿ ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಅವರು ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಕ್ವೈರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಹೇಗೆ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳೋಣ.
In science, we have three parts basically, that is physics, chemistry and biology. So today here I am to help you out and give details about physics, how much marks distribution is being given in that, and also to tell how to attempt the questions and solve the numerical. So physics means mainly it is going to, the overall subjects is related with the force, the magnetic effect, about light, and about some part is related with the human eye in the class 10 syllabus. So one by one we will be going through all these in detail now. So coming up with the pattern, question paper pattern. So physics, as 4 chapters are there. Again, the marks allotted for physics in 80 marks written paper will be 25 marks. Coming with the first chapter, light, in that 3 marks 2 questions can be asked and 4 mark case based study question can be asked. So as we know about the science question paper now, because priorly we have been discussing about chemistry and biology. So the 80 marks question paper again has section A to section E. So you will be having in section A MCQ questions, then assertion reasoning, then you have the 2 mark, 3 mark, 4 mark and 5 marks questions. So 4 marks is mainly related to the case based study questions. So based on this, I am going to tell you now chapter wise. If we see in the first chapter, light and refraction, 3 marks 2 questions can be asked and 4 marks 1 case based study question. Then coming to human eye, 2 marks 1 question can be asked. Electricity chapter, in that 1 mark 2 questions and 5 marks 1 question. Then magnetic effects of electric current, in that 1 mark 5 questions and 2 marks 2 questions, 3 marks 1 question can be asked. So the marks allotment what I have told now, it can be varied also. So nearing to this, the question paper will be usually set, but this is not the final marks allotment given to the chapters, but near to this it can be considered. So based on this, overall when we see, it is again 25 marks allotted for the physics part in science paper. So coming to the first chapter, that is light, reflection and refraction. So here in this chapter, mainly you all know now, it is all about the spherical mirrors and the lens. So first what I would like to tell all the children is that first be clear with the properties of concave, convex mirror as well as concave and convex lens. Prior to that, know the properties of a plane mirror. This is the first basic you should know. Then here mainly you are getting most of the questions based on the ray diagram. So ray diagrams are playing a very crucial role in your question paper. So based on the ray diagrams, you are getting one fixed question, that is, it may be either in the mirror or in the lens. So coming to the concave mirror. So concave mirror, it forms the image both real and virtual, and convex mirror always it forms a virtual image. So based on this, questions can be asked, and in ray diagram when we are talking particularly, you are going to get you have been studying now, that is the position of the object is on C between F and P. So like that, when the object is placed there, where is the image formed? So if you have practiced the ray diagrams correctly, thoroughly, you can easily answer such questions. So coming to in that also, again almost always more importance is given to two ray diagrams, that is when the object is at C in the concave mirror and object between F and P. So what is the nature of the image, and they can ask you the distance, or they can give the question in a problem numerical and they can ask. So this is a very important part in concave mirror. So see to that you focus on this questions. One hint I want to give here, that is it may be concave mirror or lens, always the focal length is negative, and for convex mirror or lens the focal length will remain positive. This you remember, don't get confused in this part, because in numericals many children get confused. Overall sum you will be solving, you will be finding the focal length and all, and while you are writing the answer with the sign conventions you are doing wrong. Please don't do that, focus on that part, it is very important. Then coming to the next part, you should know about the mirror formula, lens formula, and based on that you have numericals, and even magnification will be asked, so you will be knowing about that part. So based on that, see to it you solve the entire problem correctly and try to solve different kinds of problem. Don't stick only with one kind of problem, that I will suggest you, because if you always find only the focal length, if you never try the sums which have to find magnification, then you will not feel that you are perfect in that topic. So what all different variety of questions will be given in the sample papers, keep trying them. Next, even the Snell's law can be asked, and refractive index, such questions also can be asked in this chapter. One more important part is the power of lens. So in power of lens also they can ask to choose the power, and based on that we have frequently seen in the question papers, that is most probably this question is being raised in 1 mark or in case based study. So please be thorough with this part. So in questions when they are asking about power, so F is given in centimeter. See that you convert it into meter or take the value as 100 by F and then solve off. So that is one mistake usually children will be doing, so don't do that. Next, coming to the human eye. So in human eye, we you should know about the human eye in particular, the parts of the human eye, and here the question will be asked based on the type of the problems or eye defects that are being noticed, not about the parts of the human eye, but mainly retina. Based on the retina, that is the image formation, those questions will be asked. So when we take about the myopia, so a person cannot see from far, that is far, whatever is there very far from a normal distance, a person cannot visualize that if he has any problem in the eye. So such people who have problem with the far sightedness, that people they undergo the defect of myopia. So myopia, they can ask you the question related to that based on giving an example of a person who is having this problem and how why this problem has arisen. So you should know that myopia, that is the image is not forming on the retina. So only that problem has occurred, and also the elongation of the eyeball has taken place, due to which the placement of the formation of image is not taking place on the retina. So correction what can be done is the very sure question asked, and for that which type of lens you should use, that only is the correction. So it will be again the concave lens. So like that you have to solve the questions stepwise. Same related with the hypermetropia. So here the person will be struggling to see the objects which are near, or sometimes you can take the example of students only. They cannot read the words on the books. The letters tend to look small because of they cannot see the near objects clearly. So what is the correction? Opposite of the myopia, that is convex lens. So what I suggest usually is that when you are learning about the mirror and the lens, see that you learn about one mirror perfectly, that is concave mirror, its properties, its formation of image, ray diagrams. Then the properties of convex mirror will be opposite of that. Like that only follows to the concave lens and convex lens. So if you do this practice, this part will be very easy for you. And mainly diagrams, stick on with the diagrams. So here I have bought this print. You can see you already have in your textbooks, but in textbook they have given the diagrams and they have not given the properties, like you have to read it in the paragraph. So for you to make easy during the exam, what you can do, make the columns. So write where is the object at C, where is the image formed again at C, how is the image. So if it is a concave mirror, so the image is again here, it is a real image, and the size of the image is as same as that of the object, and the image is inverted. So like that if you go on solving and you make one table of this, once you write it, then daily you can just keep revising by looking at it. That will be the best habit which you can do for remembering the ray diagrams. And then the same followed by the lens also. So see to that you do this technique, it will help you to remember the things. And some questions are asked for 1 mark, 2 marks, that easily you can attempt. And when they give the same questions as numerical to find the focal length or magnification of the object, or in numericals the questions can be asked to find the focal length, magnification, and the nature and size of the image. So what will help you here? If you know the ray diagram, you will come to know that whether this image is real or virtual, whether it will form a diminished or a magnified image. Based on that judgment, when you solve the numericals, when you get the value, easily you come to know whether you diagram whatever characteristics you know and that numerical is matching. But here one thing is, your speed should be good. For that you have to practice n number of times. Then even I told about the eye defect. So like this, there are chances again for giving the diagram of the defect, that is the problem related to the eye. The diagram they will give, and they will ask you to write what is the problem, which type of defect, eye defect it is, and what are the corrections. So go through these diagrams, it is must and for sure. And again from this defect of eye, that is myopia and hypermetropia, there is 100% one question for you at least in your paper. Then coming to the next part, that is the dispersion of light. So the splitting of light, you should know the Webb-Goyer, and based on that there are chances to ask 1 mark questions, and you should know to answer it.
ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಿರಾಮದ ನಂತರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸೋಣ.
9 ಲೈವ್ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ಇದೀಗ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾಗಳಾದ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್, ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಂನಲ್ಲೂ ವೀಕ್ಷಿಸಬಹುದು. ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ 9 ಲೈವ್ ವಾಹಿನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಭಿನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳ ಅನಾವರಣ. ರುಚಿ ಶುಚಿ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡೋ ಹವ್ಯಾಸ ನಿಮ್ಮದಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ನಾವು ನಿಮಗೆ ಒದಗಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅದ್ಭುತ ವೇದಿಕೆ. ಹೊಸ ಅಡುಗೆ ಮಾಡುವ ಹವ್ಯಾಸ ಹೊಂದಿದ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರಿಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ರುಚಿ ಶುಚಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಆಸಕ್ತ ಮಹಿಳೆಯರು ಕೂಡಲೇ ಸಂಪರ್ಕಿಸಿ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ 8278339999.
ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ವಿರಾಮದ ನಂತರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಮೇಡಮ್ 2 ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರು. ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್, ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತವೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಐಯಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಡಿಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ 100% ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಕಾನ್ಕೇವ್, ಕಾನ್ವೆಕ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್, ಕಾನ್ಕೇವ್ ಗ್ಲಾಸಸ್, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಕೇವ್ ಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್, ಅದರ ಡೆಡ್ ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅದರದ್ದು ಕಾನ್ವೆಕ್ಸ್ ಲೆನ್ಸು, ಕಾನ್ವೆಕ್ಸ್ ಮಿರರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತಂತ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೆಫರ್ ಇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್. ಯಾರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು 100% ಮೇಡಮ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 100% ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಬನ್ನಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಯಾವುದಂತ ಕೇಳೋಣ, ಮೇಡಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Okay, so the next chapter is electricity. So first thing is children feel that this chapter is difficult. So please don't put it into your mind. So here you are only having the 3 important formulas that is related to the current, then you have the Ohm's law and the charge. So based on these 3 only, and the resistance in series and parallel, based on this only they are going to ask you question. So if you are thorough with these formulas and how to solve the sums one after the other, then this chapter tends to become very easy. Mainly you will get in this numericals only, so see to that you solve the sums. You cannot away from it, but if regular practice is done, you can score full marks in this chapter, because the numericals what they are been asking, they are somewhere related from the every year paper. Little small tricky questions are asked to confuse you, but if you understand the basic trick of that, like suppose they have given a circuit, so identification of the circuit plays a important role. See whether it is in series or parallel, and then sometimes they will mix both and give. So solve series, solve parallel, then see what they are asking you to find, that is the equivalent resistance. So related to that topic, whatever questions will be asked, you solve it, so it will be easy. The only thing I would like to suggest here also is that you write the units properly. If you are not mentioning the units, then the marks will be deducted in the paper. So please see to that. Then even the heating resistivity and about Joule heating effect questions are being asked. So there also in resistivity you have one formula, and in your textbook you have one question which is been given in between the text. So that question only will be twisted little and asked, only the numbers will be changed. So go through that question. It is one of the easy and simple question which is asked many times. So numericals, solve it, resolve it. You will surely get a judgment by the end of the preparation of your entire syllabus. So by the time you reach with your annual exams, you will be perfect in that. Follow what I have told now. So go on solving one by one. Then it's like a web, children. If you open first point, then the next point gets opened automatically. So like that, the first what you have to see is the key twist what is being given in the paper. Then based on that question, you go on solving. You will simplify till the end. Remember that calculation should be done, and here again you have to be perfect with the LCM. Same with the finding the focal length in light chapter also. Here also you should know to find the LCM correctly and then do. Why I am saying means LCM you will be learning from your lower class, but what happens here, the numbers will be big numbers. and little sign conventions will be. For that purpose I am telling this line. So see that when you are solving, you focus on this part, then automatically your answer will be correct. When your answer is correct, see that you give a correct unit, what is asked, that is ohms, joules, whatever it is, write it, and then your answer will become complete. Then coming to the next chapter, that is magnetic effect of electric current. So in this chapter, what they are mainly focusing on, they are asking about the properties, that is magnetic field. So first you are learning with a magnet, bar magnet. So now what they have done, they have introduced the current in it. So the current is making one magnet in a wire. It is creating the magnetic effect. So based on this, the questions will be asked. So in that again, mainly magnetic field of lines, so how they are moving, that is north to south. In 1 mark question it is being asked, and sometimes to twist it, what is being asked, the magnetic lines move from north to south, do they intersect, they are questioning you. So here what happens, if the two magnetic lines intersect, they make a tangent. So this is not possible. So the magnetic lines of force never intersect. This line if you know, then easily you can write no and write the answer. And magnetic lines, they are unidirectional. So they will flow in only one direction. So they cannot bisect. Where, and one more question is asked, where the magnetic lines of force intensity is high. When this will happen, so if you know the magnetic lines of force, they are moving from north to south, up also, down also. If you consider a bar magnet also, the magnets of lines are moving up and down. So what happens, these lines where they are meeting more, they are meeting near the bar magnet, that is the bar where you see, no, there also they are having a loop there. So what happens, up and down near the bar, the strength of the lines is very high, yes, due to which what we can say, the intensity is high. Outside what is happening, they are moving from north to south, they are making a loop there. So there the lines are little far from each other, but at the center near the bar they are high, so due to which the intensity also is high. So like that they will be asking the questions. Then the magnetic effect in the circular loop is being asked. So there are only 5 main in this chapter, main parts we can say, that is magnetic effect by the bar magnet. So in magnetic effect of current, there are 5 important parts, that is, one is from bar magnet, they are going to ask you the intensity, force of the magnetic field of lines. Then next, based on that only, there is a magnetic circular loop designed. So that picture you have in your textbook, that also based on that the question is asked. Those answers all come similar only. When you know the magnetic field of lines properties correctly, you can attempt any question in these all 5 parts. If you know the basic, that is magnetic field of lines. So be thorough with that part and go on applying it to these other 5 parts. Then next, there is an important question and it can be asked about the solenoid. So what is solenoid? So whenever you take a copper wire and you go on turning it, it turns into a coil, and that coil, when it is connected to a current, when the current passes through that coil starts acting as a magnet. So if at all iron needle is being put into that, what happens? That iron nail gets attracted. So when the flow of current stops, the needle again falls down. Why? Because that time the solenoid was acting as a magnet. So that only is a solenoid. Or else even if we put the iron filings, yes, near the solenoid, so when the current is on, when the current starts passing through the coil, we can see that the iron filings come closer into the coil because there the intensity of the magnetic field is high. And in this again one question is asked whether the intensity, see again question on intensity only, whether the intensity of the magnetic field lines is greater at the poles or inside the coil. So one thing you should remember for sure, that when we are taking the coil, that is a solenoid, in a solenoid, in all the parts from the front end to the last, that is the fourth end, always the intensity will remain the same. So for the bar magnet it was near the bar, but here solenoid, the entire solenoid, the intensity remains the same. So this question can be again asked, so please try to answer them. When you can answer, when you know that concept correctly, and after that how you have applied it with the properties of magnetic field. Then next coming to the Fleming's left hand rule. So in Fleming's left hand rule, what it is defined, that is when we take the Fleming's left hand rule, even we can keep our left hand and we can learn it easily. So Fleming's left hand rule says that is in simple, I will tell you one trick, that is father, mother and child. So father is playing the role of force and mother is playing the role of magnetic effect, and child, that is C, is playing the current. So how this is being placed, that is the Fleming's left hand rule. Based on this, upward the force is acting, in the sideways the magnetic field is acting, and towards the downwards the force of the current is acting. So like that you can remember this in simple way and define. And one twist in this Fleming's left hand rule is that when they ask the question related to electron, what happens if the force is acting upwards? For electron it will be reverse, the force will be acting downwards. That the examiner can twist and ask. So see to that when you are attempting the Fleming's left hand rule, it is easy topic. Only when it comes with the electrons, whatever is your answer will be the opposite of that. That one hint you please remember and attempt the question. This was about the Fleming's left hand rule. Here we can see this is the first in your textbook also you have these diagrams, that is about how a magnetic effect is being noticed, that on the compass when the wire is being winded, the needle of the compass deflects, and this shows that there is a magnetic field created around it, and based on that only the concept of solenoid and the magnetic effect on the circular loop. For this also, to remember the diagram of the circular loop, see if we take like this, if we keep our hand, our thumbs downwards and our fingers. So how the fingers are moving now? The left hand finger, it is going into the anti-clockwise, and the right hand fingers are going in the clockwise. Same way is your diagram. So based on this you will draw the diagram. If they have given, again they will ask about the strength of the magnetic field or the intensity, where it is high, where it is low, and how many loops it is forming. 2 loops again. So like this you can answer the questions. And one more question is being asked always, whether they give about the magnetic field or a solenoid, any as such, what question is asked here means, that is what is the use of electromagnet, why it is necessary. So one thing you should know, this only can be asked for solenoid also, but all basic is again what? They are all acting as a electromagnet. So the answer remains that the intensity of the magnetic field, we can strengthen it because we are passing the current and making it to act as a electromagnet. And the polarity. Now when we take the magnets, they have north and south pole already given. But here what happens, as we are connecting it to the power current and we are making it as an electromagnet. So here what happens, when we change the positive and the negative end, the polarity also changes. So that is the advantage of electromagnets. So based on that only they can connect with the magnetic effect in the circular loop or solenoid and ask. So don't get panic. Try to remember the basic point of that and you can write the answer. After this you have about the short circuit, about the fuse and the 3 wires, the live wire, neutral wire and the earthing wire. So based on that also questions are being asked in MCQ mainly, or again in case based study or in 2 marks questions. So don't neglect that part. It is simple and easy. So try to remember so that you can score there also. And last is about the alternate and direct current. So based on that also questions are asked. And now what we have seen mainly is in some sample papers, based on the current supply they have designed the problems, numericals, and they are asking to solve the numericals. So what happened now, always alternate current and direct current you would define or write the difference. So what they twisted in the paper, now they gave you the circuit or they gave the clue where the current is getting passed in a building or in a house, and based on that they are asking you to solve the numerical. So again when it comes to numerical, again all the part will be one by one you will be solving, but first twist what they give, the supply of the current and the voltage is given in which area, recognize that and then solve. So this is about the magnetic effect of electric current. So now coming to the questions how toppers attempt. So here the first question is, which of the following statement is not true in reference to the diagram shown? So in this diagram the object is at C and you should know the image formation when it is at C, and the mirror given is the concave mirror. So based on that we got a judgment that whenever the object is at C and it's a concave mirror, the image formed will be again at C and it will be inverted and it is a real image. So based on that judgment they have given us the options. Image formed is real, image formed is enlarged, image is formed at a distance equal to double the focal length, image formed is inverted. So based on that we have to choose the correct answer. So like that only, similar one more numerical is there which is being solved. So why I have taken this, you are solving already I know, but one addition what I have made is I have drawn a rough diagram of what all given they have given in the numerical. They have given the values. First I have put the values. First I have drawn the rough diagram. They are not asking you to draw, but in some questions they are asking you to draw also after finding. So for all the things you should be ready. So what first we should do, we should draw a rough diagram. Then after that you have to solve the numerical. Then you will come to know whether it is relating to the characteristics and your answer as I told. And one more is, whenever you solve the numericals, no, see to that whatever final value you see that you make a box of it like this. You make a box. In that box your final answer should be there, so that if the examiner is directly focusing on the answers also, they can easily come to know. So this one habit you should have in physics. Now coming to the next part, I have one question which is very tricky and you have to solve it one by one. So you can see here, this is the image which is being given in the question paper, and the question goes like this. The diagram given is a schematic diagram of a household circuit. The house shown in the above diagram has 5 usable spaces where electrical connection are made. For this house, the mains have a voltage of 220 volt and the net current coming from the mains is 22 ampere. So when you see this question, first what comes to the mind now? Only you are worried about the diagram. Don't worry. What you have read in the question, again reanalyze it. So what they have told, this is in the household circuit. So when it comes to the household circuit, so the current which is being supplied will be, so now the current supplied to home is AC current. Yes. So again, what type of connection? It is parallel connection. If you know this, your hint is over. So how many spaces are there? They are telling 5. That is, we can consider them as rooms also. So each room we can name it as R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5. So as we told, it is a parallel connection. So when these all rooms are connected to one means we can consider this to be as one R equivalent, which you know already. So 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 plus 1 by R4 plus 1 by 5. We got the formula. Now next, what they have given the hint that is the current is 22 ampere and the volt is 220 volt. So we know the formula, that is I is equal to V by R. If we want to find R equivalent, so here R is nothing but the R equivalent. So if I superimpose the formula, it will become R equivalent is equal to 220 volts upon 22 ampere. So my R equivalent is now 10 ohms. So R equivalent is 10 ohms. So see the sub questions of this main question, that is, what is the mode of connection to all the spaces in the house from the mains? So as we have come to know that the houses have parallel connection, so you will write the answer as the spaces are connected in parallel. Then next B question is, the space 5 and 4 have the same resistance and space 3 and 2 have respective resistance of 20 ohm and 30 ohm. Space 1 has a resistance double that of space 5. What is the net resistance for space 5? So if you want to know space 5, you have to solve all first 4 spaces. So the hints given. So based on that, we have told now each space we are naming it as R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5. So what we came to know that, so R4 is equal to R5. They are telling in the question. So it will be equal to some R. Then R3 is equal to, first what ohm is given, no, that is related to R3. So R3 will become 20 ohm and R2 will become 30 ohm. Next, R1. They are telling it is double of R5. So we will take double. So 2 into R5 will give the R1 value. So now we should substitute in the formula, that is 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 upon 2 R5 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3 plus 1 upon R4 plus 1 upon R5. So as we go on substituting, the details are being given to you. So once you go on solving the stepwise as I have given in the paper, so we get the R value to be as a 150 ohm. So R4 and R5 are equal. So R4 and R5 will be of 150 ohm. Then next R1 will be of next R2 is 30 ohm and R3 is 20 ohm. So now we have to find R1, that is 2 times of R5. So 2 into 150, that is 300 ohm. So you got the answer for this, that is R5, that is space 5, it will be having 150 ohm. Now coming to the third sub question C, what is the current in space 3, that is room 3? So what happens now? R3, what they have given, how much ohms it is now? 20 ohms. So based on that, I3, you have to find now I3. So I3 is equal to V upon R3. So I3 is equal to V is, it is given to be as 220 volts upon what is the current in R3, that is 20 ohm. So when we calculate, we get the current I3 to be 11 ampere. So again, unit ampere, you should write it correctly. Then last D question asked in this is, what should be placed between the main connection and the rest of the house's electrical appliances to save them from accidental high electric current? So whenever there is a problem with the connections of the current, it is always, that is the electric fuse which is going to save the circuit. So straight away write the answer as electric fuse. So like that, one by one you have to solve each and every step in the sum. But the basic key where it starts, which type of series it is, whether it is parallel or it is a series connection, that you have to know. Then you can solve one by one. So this is what I want to say about the questions, how to solve. So similarly, you can attempt the other questions in your sample paper to become more confident for your exam.
As a student, I have some doubts like students, what in students' minds will be going on. See, you have told about human eye, light, electricity, and magnet, which are very important. But in that, no, there are some problems, which are problems for kids. How to solve the problems, how to means be free. I mean, should not get scared about the problems, because physics is completely about problems only, according to me. They should be very fearless and solve that. If they'll come to know the formulas and the knack of solving the problems, 100% that problem will be correct, I think so. And then what kids should do for that?
Okay, so to make it still more simpler, first thing what children can do is, first you know now these are the chapters and you know the sums, what type of sums are asked. So you are used to the formulas. First you start writing the formulas daily. Then means daily means what I'm saying, 1-2 days if you do also, children by this time they will.
Another thing. Now in textbook there are some problems. Those problems only, in those only some of the problems will be given in the question paper, or it will be twisted, or any tricky type they will do and give the problems, ma'am?
See madam, what is given in textbook will always remain the like it's a basic lining. So whatever comes in the paper especially related to physics is application based only.
Okay, then it will be tricky only.
Yeah, it will be tricky, but if, as I told, they have to write the formulas. 2 or 3 days if they write, they become perfect.
With the formulas.
Then once they are solving sample paper, you should start analyzing for this question which formula is most suitable. Once you start getting that judgment, then there is no doubt they can easily solve, because by this time when they are in 10th standard, they will be knowing how to tackle those things, and also solving with the numericals, that is it may be related to the minus, division and multiplication LCM. They will be good enough. So where they are making confusion more is in this only, that is which formula to be substituted for the which problem. So for that you can do this. So only don't stick to the textbook only.
Solve the question paper.
Question paper, sample question papers, how much they will solve, that much they will become perfect in physics. And like compared to chemistry and biology, in physics they should know the concepts clearly, because most of the application based is asked in physics. And again, this is going to be challenging for the toppers too. This part, physics part, is going to be challenging.
The scoring also,
if
you will do mistake, then you will lose 100% marks in that.
Don't worry, you can solve it. There is no doubt. If you have practiced in this aspect, or after listening this, if you start also, you can 100% beat all the physics questions.
Any tips for our kids
and
their parents, whatever?
Okay. So parents also see that how they solve, and if you correct them in some things, they will understand. Else, if you are not feeling that I only don't understand that, so how I can correct, at least tell them to solve and recheck. So don't go to tell them you are weak in physics, you are weak in chemistry, bio. Don't want. For parents, that I will suggest, tell them to try work hard on the parts which they are finding difficulty. So they will be having notes, they have sample papers. Children nowadays, they have a huge collection.
They might have been
used to it. So based on that, they will do. Your positive words from parents will be a booster to children, even from teachers. Then next, coming to physics again, so priorly 10 minutes prior, they will get the reading of the question paper. So when you are going to read physics questions especially, see that when you are reading the question, mark the unit. So they have given the voltage, they have given the current, they are asking you to find the resistance. So if you mark these highlighting points with the pencil and keep, so when you are going to start solving the paper, immediately you will again no need to reread the entire question. So you'll come to know, okay, this unit is given, this is given, this is been asked, so given you can write and solve off the numerical. So you can save the time, children. So this one habit you start doing with your sample paper, so that when you are solving your annual paper, you will be perfect. Then MCQ will be tricky. In MCQ and case based study only, tricky questions are there, but nowadays again in sample papers also we have seen, and in these 2 years we are noticing that even in 5 marks also tricky questions are being put as sub questions. But when it comes to MCQ, we have got 2 times a paper wherein they have given a MCQ question wherein the child, if they are very used to it, they will solve it within 5 minutes at least. But 5 minutes, yeah. But if they are not getting it, they are not relating it to the concept, means they can lose 20 minutes of their paper. So there will be one such question
100%
in
sure.
physics.
Yeah.
Okay, but if their luck is good, they may not get,
Yeah.
and we wish that. So if you find any question as something like that, I don't know, it's not relating somewhere to me, just leave that question, leave the space and go on attempting the other questions. Last, when time is there, you can attempt. What I suggest is, for that 1 mark, don't lose those
Yes.
5 mark long answers. 3 marks they'll be knowing. Ray diagram they have practiced, they'll be knowing, they will draw off.
Any paper, ma'am, if they don't know, they have to leave the space
Yeah,
and
yeah.
continue with the
Continue,
paper, so
and
that,
this
time waste is
saved.
manageable.
Yeah, managed. So that this you have to keep in your mind. So because that has 2 times, because toppers only have lost their marks by going to attempt that. Don't sit, I know this, simply it's not coming. Don't sit in that loop. Just go and attempt the other question. Lastly, you can attempt. So leaving 1 mark is better than
Than
quitting
leaving
5
5
marks at the end. Then analyze the questions. Some questions are given as how, why, okay. So they are asking reasons. So give the accurate reasons with the accurate scientific terms given in the concepts. And then when you are solving question papers, because now already all the expertise are telling that solve question papers, what I will add to this is, don't always solve the same kind of question paper. So now when children solve 1 or 2 papers, they will come to know this question was being asked in the previous question paper which I had solved. So when you come to know, don't waste time there. Leave that. Try to solve all the difficulty level type of questions. Some which are easy ones, some which are at the difficulty level. So that when you solve both the type of things, so whatever your question paper comes, so you are in 60% of your attempting level you have reached when you do that. Suppose if you only sit with the easy questions and say I have solved, I am getting it easily, then when you get a question which is at a higher end, you may feel nervous or panic during your exam. So here still you have the timing. Try to solve all the different variety of sample papers which are simple as well as difficult. So doing that, as I told, numerical, solve it and keep 15 minutes timing. Complete the paper 15 minutes prior to what time is given, so that you can check the entire paper. So in physics, numericals again cross check with the science and the unit. And as I told, see that you put a box to the values which you find out at the end, so that the examiner can easily know it. And rough diagrams wherever necessary to make your paper simple and easy while solving itself. So these are the few tips which I would like to give them, madam, for physics. With this, they can attempt it well.
Thank you very much. Ma'am, very thankful to you for coming and helping our students and giving such a best program related to physics. You have covered, according to me, you have covered each and every single point related to the 4 chapters in the physics. And I think so, if the kid make use of it, then 100%, at least that kid can score minimum marks, I think so. And some of the tips, like tricky questions, about tricky question you have told, that is important. And the tips you have given, no, if you don't know, leave that part, don't waste the time. That is most important tip for the kid. They should make use of such things, and they should solve their paper.
Lastly, one thing I want to say all the students, that whenever you feel in science, I'm talking particularly, which part you are feeling you are confident, that part only you read in your exam paper once you get your question paper. Then you read the other, so that you will become confident there itself. And physics is not difficult, don't put that into your mind. It is very easy if you know the basic concepts and start solving. So be confident and don't panic yourself. Whatever is there, you are going to attempt it. That is the first strength and victory of yours. So based on that, when slowly you go on solving, automatically the things go right. So be focused, and there is less time, so utilize that time. After the exams you can again refresh yourself, but this is a very golden period of your life wherein you should utilize the time given to you, and it is a best time to prove yourself. So see to that you stick on with the things, be studious and work hard, because you are going to get the best results out of it. So with these lines, I once again thank you, madam, for giving this opportunity to share my knowledge related to physics, which will help the children. And I also want to thank 9 Live channel for giving this opportunity for me. Thank you.
And thank you very much for coming. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ವೀಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಇದಾಯಿತು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವಿಶೇಷ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ವಿಶೇಷ ಸಂಚಿಕೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ವಿಶೇಷ ಅತಿಥಿಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಹಾಜರಾಗುತ್ತೇನೆ. ವೀಕ್ಷಿಸುತ್ತಿರಿ 9 ಲೈವ್, ಇದು ಸತ್ಯದ ಪ್ರತಿರೂಪ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.